This video is sponsored by Loop Elements Pro. Make all your loops great again and do it with 10% off at the checkout. Enter the coupon code that's down in the description and in the comment section. All right, let's get into this video. Yo, so this Namm news just keeps getting doper and doper by the day. I'm excited to be out there this year and really get a chance to see a lot of the new stuff that's going to be dropping. So this morning, Roland just dropped on us the V stage, as I suspected. I did in my video a couple of days ago where I talked about this and the Nords that we're dropping and all of that stuff like that. So it's no surprise to me that the V stage dropped, because that's been a rumor for a while now. But this is really, really dope. So let's check out a little bit of what they got to say and what this is. And let's see if this thing is really like a Nord killer, because let's be honest, you know, that's kind of what they're going for with this particular model.
Let's dig into the sounds. The V-Stage comes with 4 independent sound engines, split into 4 separate sections: virtual tone wheel organ, acoustic piano, electric piano, and synthesizer. The acoustic piano is powered by Roland's latest V-Piano technology, delivering a rich and dynamic tone. The V-Stage features newly curated collections of upright pianos and a selection of lush felt pianos, perfect for creating softer, more intimate textures.
Not bad. V piano is dope, but I mean, I'll give my thoughts on that in a little bit, so y'all stay tuned for that, for my thoughts on V piano versus this. And then they got the electric piano engine.
The new electric piano uses the latest supernatural advancements to deliver stunningly authentic tones, craft sounds that span from deep growling textures to sparkling shimmering highs, including tine, reed, digital, and clav instruments. The organ section features the newly developed 3-layer virtual tone wheel, vintage transistor, and pipe organ models. Enhanced overdrive and rotary speaker effects add a vivid, expressive character to your sound.
It's cool. Not bad, not bad.
The synthesizer section offers 2 independent parts, unlocking an expansive library of onboard and downloadable Zencore sounds. Explore iconic Roland emulations with free model expansions.
In my opinion, this is where Roland, that's where Roland kind of wins at, is with their synths and all of those things like that. And then it goes through, I'll link this full video down in the description. You guys can watch it yourself without me having to watch through their content that they've already created and stuff. But it's really, really cool. I kind of dig it. I think it's really, really dope. V stage, I had a VR something back in the day. It was back in like the early 2000s, I think. And a lot of people argue that that was the first real kind of stage piano, you know, but Nord was kind of knocking back then as well with their Electro series and some of the first Nord pianos that came in. So they were kind of kicking around too then. But yeah, it's interesting to see what this is going to sound. V piano is dope. You know, I've experienced it on the RD 2000 series and also on the Phantom series. Great pianos. They sound great. But if I'm going to be honest about like who has the best pianos, like hands down, you got to give it to Nord. Nord is definitely like king when it comes to pianos. And I don't think, just my opinion, I'm going to do some head-to-heads eventually on this channel, but I don't think any piano, like hardware keyboard, is killing Nord's pianos right now. And arguably the organ as well. So I'm not sure that Roland is going to be up to par, because listening to the sound demos, that sounded real like VK7-ish, and I grew up on the VK7. And largely Roland hasn't changed their tone wheel emulation. They haven't changed that like in you know, since the jump. It's pretty much been the same thing, kind of like Korg with their whole CX, you know, type series. Everybody kind of has their model and they just kind of stick with it and just repackage it and put it in all of their different boards, you know, just stacking it over and over. So I expect to hear the same, just even listening to it on there. It sounds like the VK7. That's what it reminds me of that I had back in the day. But Nord, of course, is always killing on the organ, so you know they're probably going to win there. They're probably going to win on the piano sound. But the wild card, and not even the wild card, I think where the game might be over for Nord in that area is the synths, because Roland is the king of synth sounds. There's not too many of them that are killing that are killing Roland on, you know, synth sounds. That's why you see that like the Roland boards typically is like auxiliary boards in a lot of these tours. You see like the Phantoms as auxiliary boards. You see the Phantoms, you see the System 8, you see the Jupiter 5080s, you see those as typical aux boards and stuff. So they have been since long won the synth game, leads, pads, string. Even though, you know, Nord has some nice pads and stuff, you don't see people like utilizing the Nord as like an auxiliary board on a tour or on a gig or what have you. You know, I'm sure they exist, like maybe like the Nord Wave. The Nord Wave is pretty dope. In my opinion, I've had some experience with that. I love their synth sounds, but we're talking about like stage boards and that stuff like that, flagships. You ain't seen too many people. I haven't seen a Nord show up as an auxiliary board for like synths. I'm pretty sure there's people using it, but it's not something that you see common. You typically see like Roland kind of, you know, or Korg or even Yamaha popping up as auxiliary boards on these tours. But let's take a look at the pricing on these. So looks like that the V Stage 88 is going to be at 4,399, but I think you can get the 76 key version for $34.99, and they're not doing like a 61 key like an electro size, which that makes sense. You know, Nord doesn't have like a 61 key. They have the electro, but you know, I'd like to see like a light version of this that would be 61 keys that would kind of compete in that electro space. But you know, here you have it, the layout. What I love about this is that you got the pitch bend and mod wheel. Now, if we go over here to the Nord, right here, which stage, you know, pricing, you're talking about like 2 bands, pretty much more, you know, that you're going to be spending on this particular board. So you can definitely see that they took the inspiration from each other. But Nord, they're notorious for this little thing. Look at this front and center. This what it I I don't know what this is. I don't know what these is. I've tried to use these when I've used the Nord you know, board. I'm just keeping it honest. I love Nord. I have an Electro 6D back here. I love Nord, but this ain't it for like expression. This stuff is like weird, like trying to do like pitch bend, and it's just, it ain't it. It's the worst part of the Nord, in my opinion. You guys can let me know if y'all love it. I hate it. I'm just gonna keep it a buck with you. I'm not a stan. I'm not a fanboy on their pitch bend and mod wheel situation. So Roland is definitely gonna win that. But as you can see, they've kind of copped that, you know, the like almost like the stage 3 type feel with the knobs and stuff like that, and the level, you know, whereas Nord kind of moved up to the faders, which is kind of funny to me. But they got the organ section, the acoustic piano section, and the electric piano section, and then the synth section. And it just looks just like a black Nord. That's what's funny to me. It looks just like a black Nord when you look at it or what have you. It's just kind of crazy that they did that. But one thing I think is really, really cool about the Roland, you know, is that they separated the acoustic piano from the electric piano. And I think that is pretty dope because you don't have that on the Nord. You kind of got right there in that same vein, you know, piano and EP, like control, like basically in that same area. So you know, I think Roland kind of wins on that. So they give you that option. So this is going to be interesting. And I think the other thing, Roland also is kind of keen on the key beds and stuff like that. Like, I'm not a huge fan of Nord key beds. And I know there's a lot of other people that actually play like keys and stuff like that, like live, you know, and using it for mains. Most of my people, my friends and people, when we talk about the Nord, we always talk about like how we really don't like the key bed. It's an acquired taste. It's not terrible. It's not the worst. The Nord Grand probably has the best feel of all of them. Um, but like just the typical stage piano feel is not like my favorite feel. Whereas the Roland definitely has really, really dope key beds. Like I play on a Roland 888 every day. Like that's the board that I do everything on, is right here under my desk. When I do production, when I'm doing like tutorials, when I'm doing everything, I'm using my Roland 888. I've also experienced the Roland RD2000 key bed. I grew up on Roland RD500, and then I had an RD700 for several years. I actually still have my 700 in the closet. It doesn't work anymore, but still a dope board. So Roland I think Roland is going to win in that area. V piano is not bad. V piano's not bad, but I think Nord pianos are great. The Nord organ is probably going to be so. It just really depends on what your flavor is. I think that Roland is probably going to win on key bed and synth sounds. The piano is good. It cuts really good in live, and it's like very, you know, very good for that. So it remains to be seen. And then price wise, of course, we're talking like 3,400 versus the Nord coming in, clocking in at 56. So Roland swung really, really hard with this. So you guys can let me know what you think about this whole situation. I'm really excited to get out there and look at these boards like firsthand and put my hands on them legitimately and get, you know, form my final thoughts about them. And then I'm also interested in getting them in here on the channel and actually doing some head to head against these to see which one is the actual one. But you guys let me know what you think down in the comment section. Again, I'm going to be out at Namm this year. So if you're going to be there and we run into each other, you see me, say what's up. I always like to meet people. I'm always in the networking, trying to connect with people and doing all those things like that. So I hope to see you guys out there. If not, go ahead and check out some of the other videos that I got on the channel, and even my other video where I talked about this particular, the V stage dropping and the new Nord stuff the other day. So check that out, and I'll talk to you guys on the next one. I'm out. Holla at your boy. Today, I want to introduce to you Loop Elements Pro. This represents a very innovative new way of using loops. And guess what? It's standalone, not only as a plugin, but it's also standalone outside of the DAW, which means you can now use loop elements in your live performance. This isn't just a plugin. It's the ultimate tool for creators and producers. Whether you're layering loops, creating click track, creating beats, building arrangements, soundscapes, Loop Elements Pro gives you the power to create without limits. Loop Elements Pro is now available. Go get it now.